Let us study list common multiple using the listing multiples method. We're going to describe what the list common multiple is. We're going to also go through the steps we use in finding the list common multiple, and then we'll look at some examples of applying those steps to a set of numbers. So the list common multiple is taken from the multiples of a set of numbers. And we also identify the least common multiple as the lowest common multiple or the smallest common multiple. And for prime numbers, the least common multiple is just the product of those prime numbers. So now, how do we get the least common multiple? We first list the multiples of each of the numbers, and then we see if we can get some common multiples, and from the set of common multiples that we have extracted, we want to choose the smallest of the common multiples. So let's see how we can put that to practice. So find the least common multiple of 8 and 10. So let's start with 8, and then we go to 10, and then we have common multiples, and then the least common multiple. So this is how we're going to go about it. So we have 8 multiplied by 1, 8, by 2, 16, by 3, 24, by 4, 32, by 5, 40, by 6, 48. Let's stop there. 10, we have 10 by 1, by 2, 20, by 3, 30, by 4, we have 40, by 5, 50, by 6, 60, by 7, 70, by 8, 80. Okay, so let's go a bit more for 8. So 48 by 7 we have 56, by 8 we have 64, by 9, 72, by 10 we have 80. So if we look here, our common multiples are 40 and 80. So we have 40 and 80 as our common multiples, and of these numbers the smaller one is 40. So our least common multiple is 40. So let's look at 8, 16, 30, and then we're going to derive our common multiples and then our least common multiple. 8 by 1, 8, by 2, 16, by 2, 3, 24, by 4, 32, by 5, 40, 6, 48, 7, 56, 8, 64, 9, 72, 10, 80. Okay, 16 by 1, 16, by 2, 32, by 3, 48, by 4, 64, by 5, 80, by 6, 96. 32 by 1, 32, by 2, 64, by 3, 96, by 4, 128. So if we look at our common multiples, we can see 32, 32, 32. So 32 is a common multiple. The other one we have is 64, 64, 64. So we have 64 appearing in all three. And if we want to go further with 8, we can go by 11, 88, by 12, 96. So we can have 96 here, 96 here, 96. So we have 3 common multiples. Now, of these 3 numbers, what is the smallest number? 32 is the smallest number, so it's going to be our least common multiple. So now we have 18, 24, 36, and then we have our common multiples, and then we have our least common multiples. Generally, with these, one of the things you can do is you can keep creating the multiples until you arrive at the first one that is common, and you can just stop right there. So let's try that with this approach here. So we have 18 by 1, 18 by 2, 24. Sorry, 18 by 2 is actually 36. 18 by 2 is 36. By 3 we have 54. by 4 we have 72, 24 by 1 we have 24, by 2 48, by 3 72, 36 by 1 36, by 2 72. So we already arrived at our first common multiple, so that's going to be the least common multiple. So we have 72 here, and then this is going to be 72. And then finally, what is the greatest, or what is the least common multiple? Should be least common multiple. Least common multiple of 2, 5, 11, and 17. These are all prime numbers. So because they're all prime numbers, we're just going to multiply them together. So LCM, least common multiple, is going to be 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 11 multiplied by 17. So 2 multiplied by 5 is 10 multiplied by 11 multiplied by 17. So we have 11 multiplied by 17. So 1 multiplied by 7, 7 here, and then we'll put a 0 here. 1 multiplied by 1, 1, and then 1 multiplied by 1, we have 1. So we'll put a 0 here, so we start adding up. 7, 8, 1, so this is going to be 187. Since we're multiplying by 10, we put a 0 at the end. So this is the least common multiple of these four sets of this set of numbers.